Gerard, it feels like so long since we've had crowds sitting in the Ford stand Gary Ablett Terrace. It's actually, well, it's more than 12 months. It's bizarre to be here, and there's only going to be one more opportunity next year to do it, because beyond next year, this where we sit in 12 months is going to be a construction site.
Yeah, we should all take a good look around, observe what's here, because yes, in 12 months' time we'll be sitting here all hoarded up with a construction crane or two and letting rip for the next phase.
So where we sit right now is in front of the Ford stand, which is the oldest part of GMHBA Stadium, Kardinia Park, as a venue that exists, built in the early 1990s. It's hard to believe what's unfolded in front of us over the last 15 years. I remember the working drawings at Eastern Stand for what is now the Reg Hickey stand, and we've gradually obviously gone through the first 4 stages and now to stage 5, and the dream that I think Brian Cook probably had the first vision going back 20 years ago.
Oh look, there's no doubt Brian led the charge on completely the transformation of the stadium and catapulting it into the modern era. Then the trust comes into existence and you might say sort of puts arm in arm with the footy club to make sure we get this stage over the line and lead this piece to do the finishing off of the stadium. These places, there's places where people gather and there's places where people gather in cities and towns and regions. They very much are symbolic of the region and where it's heading, and they need to be done pretty carefully so that you don't destroy the soul of what you've got. So yes, you've got to modernise, but you've got to do it with some tact and some subtlety to make sure you don't destroy the soul. So you want to bring all the heritage of 100 and odd years here, and the Cats playing here for a long time, but you also need to modernise. This is a place of fun and enjoyment and sporting triumph and tragedy, memories. Families have congregated here for years. They can recall almost minutes of games that have gone on 20, 30 years ago, and that's all the stuff that these places. These are the modern churches in many ways.
Yeah.
I love what this place symbolises for the region and for the people who come here, because I think it's been modernised, but it's kept its soul.
Been good enough behind you. You've brought the milk crate that you used to carry around with you. Do you want to show our viewers here on Kardinia Park Chronicles that is the milk crate that used to travel with the Griffin family to the suburban grounds of the VFL in the 1980s, and was stood on just over on the Mirabel Street side behind the cheer squad. The opposition cheer squad used to be on the half-forward flank at the river end of the ground, and Gerard would be on that as a young tacker, just trying to get the best view, and not alone.
Yes, I do recall how the Mirabel Street side of the ground was treated for those who were either officially paying to get in or not paying to get in to see their team play footy here each week. And of course, it was so politically correct from an occupation health and safety point of view, but those days are over, I'm afraid. You probably can't go back to some of those.
So what's the nuts and bolts of the new stand? What's it going to involve? What does it take capacity to?
So it'll get us to 40,000 capacity. It'll bring into play some extra change rooms for both men's and women's sport and sport of any kind. It'll replace some of the function facilities here that we're sitting in front of. As a finishing piece, it's going to enable the stadium to really host a multitude of things quite comfortably. You really are setting up the stadium to operate for the next 20 or 30 years to handle everything and anything.
How much standing room will there be? How many patrons do you hope?
At this stage, it's probably around 2,000 to 3,000 spots.
Well, it's exciting times. We can't wait for the Stage 5 redevelopment. We can't wait to see live sport back here at Kardinia Park after what was a tough 2020. We've got football, we've got Australian rules, we've got hopefully cricket as well, and many other special events coming up through Kardinia Park in the coming months and years, and we can't wait for it. Gerard, good to catch up with you.
Likewise. Thanks, Tom.